it is incredibly exciting to me, and maybe just double clicking on these federal fund flows vis-a-vis the labor market and what it means to reskill and upskill Americans. I think all of us on the webinar are familiar with the very sobering statistics around declining economic mobility. It's just not been working for the vast majority of Americans. You know, kids born in the 1940s have a greater than 90% chance of out earning their parents. The number today is less than 50% and really precipitous. And wages have been stagnant or in real terms negative for most workers in this country. So most of the economic growth have been kind of, sequestered to the top. And so I don't need to give you a lecture on wealth and income inequality, but we have such an amazing opportunity. If you look at the bills, the BIL, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the CHIPS Act, IRA, the amount of money appropriated toward worker upskilling and reskilling and workforce development is in the billions. It's just a really exciting time to make sure and not waste this opportunity to make sure that those public resources actually go toward outcomes for the most marginalized and disadvantaged groups in our country. And even without this federal spending, which is really going to be a major boost on the demand side of things, there have been like a lot of tensions on both the demand side and the supply side in the worker equation that we've been seeing. Just on the demand side, in addition to all the money that's going to be pumped into industry that would require a diverse and expanded pipeline of talent, we're also just seeing incredible kind of demographic changes. Even before the pandemic, if you just look at the aging of America, the need for care workers have completely shot up. If you look at healthcare worker shortage, I don't know if anyone's been to the ER or the hospital lately. It is just dire. Literally, 20 to 30% of nursing vacancies at hospitals. This is just, not workable. So in addition to the great jobs that will be created by these bills in clean energy and advanced manufacturing and the trades, there are all these other pressures just from purely demographic changes that's really putting more pressure on the demand side. And obviously with geopolitical tensions and onshoring and national security, it's really just jamming it down. And then on the supply side, the aging of the workforce is not a friend. It's and it's beyond the health arena. If you look at the number of transportation workers needed, aviation workers needed. Who's been at an airport recently and your flight is not taking off because the ground crews isn't there? And then immigration policy is also not a friend on the supply side of things. The outlook doesn't look so great. And then finally, the labor force participation rate has been in a steady decline for many years. We are missing still 3 million people who've just opted not to come back into the workforce, and it's mostly concentrated among white men of prime working age. So we have a lot of pressures on both the demand and supply side, and I really hope that this injection of public funding and with, importantly, the strategic and creative use of philanthropy and catalytic capital to help, WD-40, this plumbing of money going toward worker reskilling is a really exciting moment in the many years to come.